Well, I'm used to wearing protective gear as a racing driver, but in this little lot, it seemed as if I was being prepared for something more like American football. Now, I'm ready for anything. So they tell me. So where's that British champion? He could do with a new passenger.
Come on, Shane, now make way for a younger man. Come on. OK. Well, I've done some very silly things in my life, and this is going to be them all. I may be with British champion Chris Etheridge, but I'm not really ready for this. I've rehearsed my moves, leaning to the right, and then come these horrendous climbs where we take off and land. This is just at a nice, easy pace so I can learn the moves. Out we go, then on the power. Across these bumps, you keep your knees bent, but your knees begin to feel like jelly. It's very rough. I nearly lost myself off the back then. I think there's a drop here. Whoa! Again, trying to get out to the left. And then back again to the right. Before we climb back to the left. And we're across the field, heading for another huge jump. And the score! We've done one lap, and I'm already feeling tired. My legs are already aching like mad, and they're feeling like jelly. And these huge bumps put shockwaves through. I've got to get back over to the right now as we head for one of these huge jumps. Oh, oh. My knees want to just give up. And more bumps. Then the sky and this ski jump. And a final leap. Woo! Thanks, Chris. Well, that was very exhilarating, but probably the most tiring thing I've ever done. Where's young Shane?
Youth must be the key. These guys don't do 2 laps at a time like I did. They race for 20 minutes plus 2 laps with 3 races at each meeting. 70 minutes at racing speeds must make Shane Skeets and his mates as fit as any sportsman.
It might be a bit fast, but I don't think there is any sport that takes so much out of you. When we go training, we've got a private trainer who takes us, and there's footballers, there's athletes, there's swimmers, there's all sorts of sport, but none of them, do the sort of training that we do or can keep up with the sort of training we do. So I would think it's probably one of the most physical sports in the world.
And it's not just tiring. In last year's World Championship round at Petersfield, Chris Etheridge was involved in a spectacular crash that left him with a broken wrist. Normally, a relationship builds up so that a passenger understands his rider's style so well, it helps avoid such disasters.
Maybe, first time out, you could probably have a good ride. But, it really takes about a year to 2 years to know exactly what the driver's thinking. It's in a state of panic, when, say, someone crashes in front of you, you're going to swerve, and the passenger will know after 2 years which way the driver's going to go.
Chris still managed to win the British Championship last year, as chief rival Colin Philpott was having his own problems.
I broke my neck a couple of years ago, put me out for 6 months. First meeting back last year, when I fractured my pelvis. Towards the end of last year, once I got going again, I went and broke my collarbone in the second from last championship round, but still managed to end up second in the championship.
At Bletchington, it was Shane Skeets who was in trouble.
Well, at the beginning of the year, he broke his ankle in a winter event, and he's got some plates and some pins in his ankle. And we went over a jump over the back there and landed heavy in a practice, and it jarred his leg. So obviously he's struggling today with that.
So he's doing a grand job for you, really, considering his injuries.
Well, yeah, as you found out yourself how hard it is to do it, let alone carrying an injury as well. I think he's a bit of a hero today, really.
Someone wants to buy a cycle tyre.
The hero struggled out for the third race, but by mid-season Shane's ankle had forced him to quit, and Chris reformed the partnership with Nick Brace that took last year's championship. They duly won the last 3 rounds, and Chris retained his title, proving the value of good teamwork in sidecar cross.
It's a game for 2. You can't do it on your own. If he's got a donut in the chair who can't give him traction, he's not going to go forward. If you've got a driver who can't keep the wire tight, then you're not going to win. So it takes 2, and that's it.
The one thing I have learned at the bike show is that style is every bit as important here as it is in the world of cars. And if you're talking about style, you really have to talk about this magnificently entitled Harley-Davidson Heritage Softail. They cost you £10,500. It has an 80 cubic inch engine, that's 1340cc in new money. Now sadly they're only bringing 40 into the country, and most of those are already pre-sold, and I can see why. It's just fantastic. You ride this around and you really are the coolest cat in town. Anyway, I'm off now, off back to London. On a bike? Well, you gotta be joking.
In next week's Top Gear, the Japanese Mini built in Britain, buying Italian Prestige second-hand without getting hurt, and working out what went wrong from the wreckage of an accident. For more information from Tony Mason on the new Renault Safran, call the Top Gear car line on 0891 335547.